Yeah.
But
Let's get into your top 5.
oh, you want to go first?
Before we get into yours, I struggled. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about this today, and I sat in the office. I'm like, all right, let me make sure I'm not missing something. I went to the catalog. I got my notebook out. I'm like, all right, let me write down my scribbling. Like, nah, I can't put that at 3. No, I got to put this one here. I struggled because I'm a
Yeah.
fan of all this music, and it was hard for me to, because I'm not breaking down. I don't know every song word for word. I'm not like a music guy like that necessarily. I'm not a
I
historian of
wish I had a
Nas.
good memory. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah,
I wanna
and I
switch
don't.
them
Yeah,
into something because I have to listen to it and I'll know it, but I don't
yeah,
have like some people are able to spit lyrics out. I'm like, how you
yeah. It's
do that?
crazy. I have to be listening to the song, and then it will come to me, and I can know a lot of it. But right off the jump, I just can't do that with most songs. But I struggle with this top 5. Not gonna lie. So I'm
Mm.
really been like waiting anxiously to see what Hannibal's got in his top 5, and I want him to go first because that's gonna help me a little bit.
Okay. So I didn't put the King Diseases album in there.
Okay,
Kind
any
of
of
like
them? You didn't put any of them, right?
no,
Okay.
because they just came out 2 years ago. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. They may not crack. It depends. So I'm gonna go 5, then go up to 1. So my fifth album is God's Son.
Mm,
Um, I really, really like this song for a few, they had a really good tracks. They had, the super positive one, I Can, just for the kids. I thought
yep.
it was a really motivational song, especially with a young kid. You listen to it. I think it was pretty good. Get Down, Major Look. I love Major Look. I mean, the beat, the video. I can still remember the video right now. It's Nas just holding his own, doing what he wants to do. Mastermind, revolutionary warfare, like really good solid tracks, and
Mhm.
that's a solid album. Is it the best ever? No, but that's like, if any of the King Disease albums can kind of creep up, they could probably creep up on Godson, but I really enjoy Godson. Because they had a lot of good songs on that one. My fourth album, um it was written. Was the first Nas album, just like you, the first Nas album that I probably like listened to. Um, that was the one that I think kind of pushed him more commercial acclaim, right?
Yeah, he did a
Like,
song with Lauryn Hill and Rule the
yeah.
World and that, yeah,
If I Rule the World, I've heard that song 10,000 times,
dude,
and I can
and it
still listen
never
to it.
gets old.
It never ever gets old.
And a
Lauryn
good
Hill is
video
so
too, yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
And it has some really great songs. I Gave You Power. I mean, that's the song that Pac
great
took,
song,
and because it was talking in a perspective of being a gun.
yeah,
Like, that's the level of poetry. Like,
yeah,
you throw me away, you don't care about me, but all I do is make black people hurt, cry, and
yeah,
bleed. Like, that's some level of that's some
it's
poetry there.
yeah, yeah,
Um, Affirmative Action, AZ, Cormega, like, it's a lot of really good songs. I think Dre had a song. Dre produced something. Nas Is Coming. I think he produced that.
Nas Is Coming, he
Mob,
did, yeah,
yeah, Mob Deep and Black Girl Law. So that, special to me. And that, like you said, that album kind of brought me into Nas. Released in 1996. We're old.
it's crazy, man.
We're old as shit.
We are old.
Yeah,
I was 96, I was, 8th grade, I think, yeah, or something like that,
I was
7th or 8th
probably
grade,
27 or 8. Who knows? I'm old.
yeah,
So, 3. This may be a surprise. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. The Lost Tapes. Now, it
mm,
may not necessarily be an album, but I still listen to those songs to this day.
mm.
Um, Almost all of them, be honest.
That is a
Do
surprise, the Lost
Rags,
Tapes,
My
yeah,
Way, Drunk by Myself. He's talking about, I don't know if he's talking about having substance abuse, but felt that way when I was listening to it.
mhm,
Purple, Papa Was a Player, talking about his father being a Rolling Stone a little bit.
mhm.
Um, no Idea is original. Now, apparently, I don't know if they were just throwaways, but if you guys haven't checked out Lost Tapes, check that album out. It's really good. I think I'll say it may not be a skippable song in the Lost Tapes. It's really, really good. Um, I could talk about that album for an hour straight. Now, 2,
Top 2, yep.
Stillmatic.
Mm,
Now, this is what it. Now, it won't be 1. You guys already know what 1 is, but Stillmatic was a brilliant album because in New York City at the time, m- all of us, or I won't say all of us, most of us thought that Nas was done. Nas is going to take an L. There was no way he was going to come back from Takeover. When Jay-Z put Takeover and it was on our radio, I listened to
Yeah.
it and I was like, damn, he's not coming
And
back.
Jay-Z was hot as fuck at that point. Like he was a guy. Yeah.
And Takeover was so damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, smarten up, Nas. like what? You have
It was
one hot
good.
album every 10-year average. It's like, oh no.
It was good.
And it's like, oh man, I really like Nas. I guess you'll figure something else out. I mean, it was that serious. I mean, like you said, Jay-Z owned the city. After Big died, Jay-Z took the mantle and ran with it.
Mhm.
And Nas and him had some issues, whatever. It is beef or whatever. But I didn't think he was gonna come back. And when Stillmatic came out, I was like, oh shit, this guy's able to handle it. And then you hear Ether.
That beat drops on Ether, man. Oh god.
One of my top, it could be my top diss song. He destroys Jay-Z. Destroys Jay-Z. And maybe because the fact that we all thought he was dead. He even put it, he said, y'all thought I was dead, forgotten. And he's like going after everybody. Ether, to a point where I don't know if they still use this verb. I know I use it when I diss track, like, yo, that guy got ethered. Like that's how strong that diss record is. And also there's a lot of great songs on Stillmatic.
There's some there is. It's a good album for sure.
Yeah, Got Yourself a Gun, You're the Man. I listened to that, Rewind, One Mic. I mean, he had some commercial hits with that too. The Flyest with AZ. Any song he has with AZ, they just work so well.
I feel like you're low key, like you're a big AZ fan. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like you.
Oh yeah. AZ, for some reason, I wish he was more famous and more successful. I mean, even when you talk to Nas about AZ, he'll let you know that AZ is the shit. Like, just for some reason, just didn't work out. But there's a lot of good songs on Stillmatic. And number one, obviously, Illmatic.
Illmatic.
When you listen to it, what song you skip on that?
You don't.
There's no song you skip.
When that album came out, it was like nothing we'd seen before from somebody even at that age. So.
Yeah. What was he, 18 years old or something ridiculously like young? Yeah. Had the best producers at the time, which was very interesting for a kid that came out. I guess he came out of nowhere. He had that really great feature on the main event. But he had the greatest producers at the time. Large Professor, which is, I don't know if he's still in the game, probably Premier, Pete Rock, which I guess they still have issues with each other. Q-Tip, like fantastic production. Life's a Bitch with AZ, and I'm sorry,
Life's a bitch and then you die. That's why we get high, because you never know when you're gonna go.
It may not be Nas the best verse, and that's blasphemous for me to say that. AZ's verse on Life's a Bitch was breathtaking. So it's weird that you don't think that he should be as successful, but when AZ went in that verse, I'm like, damn, who the hell is AZ is? But yeah, that's my 5. And I was supposed to put honorable mention. We talked about this a couple days ago. Distant Relatives, Nas and Damian Marley. If you guys haven't checked that album out, check it out. Just check it out. I don't have to say too much about it because I think I said I was rambling for so long, but check that album out.
Check it out. It's a good one. Good. Yes. If you like that reggae with the hip hop and like that,
blends perfectly.
Yes, really good. There's some really good songs on there. Listen, Hannibal just broke his top 5 down very eloquently. I am not going to be able to do as well as he did with breaking it down and why. So I'm glad he went for. Well, maybe I should have went first because he just did a really good job. So good list. You do have a surprise. The Lost Tapes, shocker at 3.
Have you seen? Have you listened to it?
I've had the album. I haven't listened to it in a long time. Like I just haven't. It wasn't in my stratosphere, if I should say that, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, like solid, obviously. All right, so I'm gonna give you my 5. Like I said, I'm gonna disappoint. Hannibal just, he did his thing with that. So good list, man. Good list. I struggled, like I said, with this list because I'm a Nas fanboy. I don't care. You can call me what you want. If I ever met Nas in the streets of St. Louis and he was like doing something and he was actually here and I didn't see him. Shame on me. I had something else going on. But I think I might faint. I'd be like, damn, that's Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's just such a cool guy too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go 5 to 1. I'm gonna give my honorable mention first. I actually have King's Disease 1 as my honorable mention. I like that
Okay.
King Disease album a lot. I like the thought behind it, where he was going with it, the subtle jabs. I think it's a really solid album. I've listened to that album a lot. So I had that as my honorable mention. Now, this is where I struggle with the 5. I've mixed this up. I want to show y'all something just so you don't think this is my list. You can see the scratches.
Is he going back? He was going back and forth.
Yeah, I'm just going about. I'm like, damn, I don't know. I can't do that. I can't do, you know. But what's great about music is these lists are your own. So
Exactly.
there's no right or wrong answer. It's about how you feel about them, right? So I have, all right, let me see. I have Nasir as 5. So Nasir was an album that came out. Kanye, Puffy produced, did some stuff. It's 7 tracks, and it's a good, easy listen for me. I like the Nasir album. I like what he did when he made it. He was relevant to some topics that were coming out. Yeah. It's my sleeper album.
Bonjour, I love that. That song.
Bonjour, yes, I like the album. I used to run to that album a lot. I know a lot of the words and that. I just like the Nasir. That's my sleeper, and I have it at 5. I have I Am at number 4.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting, right? Most people don't like that album. I like that album.
No, Hate Me Now. I still remember that video.
With up across.
I'm looking through it right now. Favorite for Scarface. Love that song.
Mm-hmm.
Nas is like, obviously. Yep. Money's My Bitch. I remember that. Like another song where he kind of had that analogy of money as his woman. Like like poetic shit. Life Was What You Make with DMX. Rest in peace to DMX.
Yep.
No
features for sure, but I like it. And it was, I think that came out at 99.
Yeah.
That was a year right before I was about to graduate. Like I remember playing that song in the car like every day for a year, going to work, picking up my chick, doing this, doing that, like every single day, listening to that song on the CD in the car, like we used to do it. Right. This is where
when you jump after you do this, we gotta give Jody a recommendation. And I don't know which one we're gonna do, but you finish that, then we gotta
that's tough. Yeah. So Jody, hang out with us for a second. We're gonna each give you a recommendation. So hang for a second. So 3 is where it gets a little bit crazy for me. I have Stillmatic at 3.
Okay.
I mean, for the reasons that Hannibal eloquently said, the beef, him coming back into the game.
He was dead, man.
At a time where people were like, nah, he's done. He's done. You got these Jay-Z guys, they're swinging bottles of champagne. And, Nas is like, no, we're not done yet. And then he responds in the way that he responded. I mean, classic album, a big turning point in hip hop music, I think, too, because at that point, beefs have always been the thing in hip hop. It's just what it is. You put men together that are competitive with egos, you're going to beef, right? But the way they did it, and it was good. We needed it that time.
Oh, definitely.
And these two here, I went back and forth. Okay, this is where it'll get a little crazy for some. At 2, I have Illmatic, which is his first album.
I have
Illmatic. I have Illmatic at 2. Yes, Hannibal. I have it at 2 only because, it's an album. It's a classic album. But I'm a nostalgic guy. Okay. I like what I like, and I like it for reasons of nostalgia a lot, and the memories it brings me and my affinity to it. I have It Was Written as number 1 because I still, like I said, this is the 3rd time I'm going to say it. I was a kid at that record store, like, okay, let me buy this album, pay for it with my own money, listen. And it was the first album I had that you could open it up and read all the lyrics. So I remember as a kid, like all night, didn't sleep, listening to it, looking at the words, like, damn, he's putting these things together. I didn't understand some of it, so I had to listen to it a 10th time to understand his wordplay. What is he talking about? So I have Illmatic at 2 because when it came out, I was too young to appreciate it. So I've appreciated it later in life, right?
Yeah.
But I remember It Was Written. It's my number 1 for nostalgia reasons. It introduced me to hip hop. For me, it's the Godfather album in my life for hip hop, because then I started listening to all kinds of stuff, right? Because at that point I was listening to like what my dad liked, and we'd have some Spanish music, and I listened to some alternative because my friends listened to that kind of stuff. But then this is what set the tone for my hip hop love, and that's why I have it at number 1. So that's my 5.
You know what? I do appreciate we had totally different lists, and
Yeah,
we kind of
that's good.
threw
Yeah,
a bunch of albums out there. I
that
see.
goes to show you how much great music he's got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Um,
saying? Because we literally between our albums, we have let's see, one, two, I think we've got like eight or nine
yeah,
different albums on
yeah,
here.
we went
So
the
yeah,
whole gambit.
yeah,
And we didn't talk about Magic. Fire Dragon, appreciate the
Magic.
comment. 4 album run, KD1, KD2, Magic, KD, all fire. Yeah, I mean, this guy is he's bringing hope for people our age to still put out really quality music that we can get into, because maybe someone a little younger may not care because they're into either the drill rap or the mumbling rap. But
Right, right,
even
right,
his
right.
song, this first song, he's like, listen, I've been on here so long that I probably have fans who are 50 years old, and I have probably have or 60 years old, and I have fans that are probably 16 years old. Like, this is the span of
Yeah, he mentioned
Nas
that.
work.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome. I mean, there's not a lot of rappers that can say that.
no. So let's go back with Jody McCormick is asked. I never heard of Nas. What album would you recommend listening to? Now the
Mm,
thing is, I'm not sure if Jody is interested in rap. If
yeah.
it depends on really depends on like what your preferences are. But if you had one album that you wanted someone to never listen to a Nas record before, what album would you recommend?
That's tough. I mean, if it's somebody that doesn't know, if hip hop isn't something that you normally listen to, but you want to be introduced, and I would go Illmatic. I would go his first album is what I would recommend for her.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 10 songs.
Yeah.
Very good. If you love a little jazz influence, like fusion
Hmm.
in, because his father was a jazz musician, and there's a lot of jazz influences on this one. And that was a thing for a lot of hip hop back in the 90s. It was really a lot of jazz, and I feel like I don't know where the jazz went. It's either in a Kendrick or a Cole album. Other than
Mm.
that, I don't, Kodak Black, it's a bunch of who knows, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it used to be that was influence because jazz and hip hop are very similar, and then the ability to improvise. It's not so structured. Like you can rip and kind of riff a little bit. I think that's the reason why they work so well together. Bill Illmatic is critically acclaimed, one of the greatest albums of all time. Well, it depends on if you're the Rolling Stones, then you think
Let's not.
it's.
I was hoping you weren't gonna say
I'm
that.
I'm still upset about that. Um, Now, all right. She said I used to like Mason Puff Daddy. All right, so you would definitely
Nas is
like
gonna
the
be different. So yeah, if you like Mason Puff Daddy, then that might not
It
be the
work.
album for you. I mean, it might. Yeah,
I
it could
mean, it
work. It could work.
and also it was written may work too.
It may because you got that Lauren. Yeah, that one might be a little better, a little easier to listen.
Yeah.
We didn't get so that's our recommendations. We didn't get into. I want to give the album that I have as the worst. I think we talked about doing that,
Oh
which is tough.
yeah, I totally
But
forgot about it.
there,
That's probably
I
some
was
popular thing.
looking at the list. I mean, an album like The Firm, right? The highly anticipated Dr. Dre, Foxy, Nas, AZ, uh, wasn't great, but I don't consider that a Nas album. So
Yeah,
I
more of a
try to keep it to,
collab.
yeah, it's a collab kind of, group thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Nostradamus was the one that
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say
me
we both got it then. Yeah, I was gonna say
just
not.
didn't hit like maybe it could have. I felt like that was a rushed
What the
album.
hell was he doing?
Yeah, like what's going on here? You're
It's
just being
like
cute.
what?
Yeah.
What was
So
that?
that's the album for me. Like if I didn't ever have to listen to it, I'd be fine. So
Yeah, I'm looking through it, and that came out the same year as I Am. So it was like,
right, it was
was that all
rushed.
the
It was like a
throwaway
back to back. Yeah.
songs?
Yeah.
Like
Money
one.
grab maybe, or maybe he was contractually obligated in some way. That's how I
Yeah,
felt
I'm
that
I'm,
album
I'm
was.
looking at it. And you know what? I may try to listen to it again. The only song I kind of remember off the top of my head right now is "You Owe Me" with Genuine. That's not
It's
that's not
not my
necessarily a
yeah, and I don't. That's not the Nas I like. You know what I'm
yeah
saying? So I feel
yeah
like you said, it could have been like, hey, he made 30 songs. I Am comes out, better album, and then okay, I gotta make another couple million. All right, let's throw this album together. So
yeah yeah. That's I mean, I'm looking through it right now. Yeah, I mean, we didn't. No one mentioned Hip Hop Is Dead, and some people actually thought that was a pretty solid album.
is it
Um,
not a bad one? I had it on my list as I was writing that one. Distant Relatives, like you said, was a really good one. Life is Good. It's got some
Oh yeah,
Good
life
chill
is good.
tracks. Life
Yeah,
is good is a good album. He's in a different spot in his life there.
yeah.
Nas is, so it's a different vibe. Um, yeah, I mean, there's life is good's good. It's different though. That's a
I like
different type of Nas.
that's another album that I sometimes I do come back to listen to. With like talking about daughters. I mean, I don't have a
Yeah,
daughter, but I really love that song.
yeah.
He kind of talks about being a dude and running around and being slick. They
Hmm.
reward you by giving you a girl, and now you gotta realize I gotta
And
protect her. But
I fell into that trap. Yeah. So and that when that song came out, my daughter was, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 or
yeah,
something like that.
this could have been my fifth one. I'm looking at it right now. The Dawn. I love that song. It was produced by Heavy D. He passed away, obviously, and Cherry Wine with Amy Winehouse. Like that woman can sing. Had that voice where you're like,
Yeah.
she black, and like, oh, she's not. I'm like, oh, that's something. Bye baby, talking about his wife, leaving his wife back when there's some like um retro 90s feel songs in there. Yeah, but Nas is good, and I love the album cover. He's just chilling. His wife's
Yeah.
gown is on his lap, and he got a
Yep.
drink, and he's like,
Yep.
all
Life
right,
is good. Life
this
is
life
good.
is good. I'll
I mean,
forget it.
think about it. What do most men? Listen. I'll say this: most men, we're very simple and easy what we want and acquire and what we need.